Hey guys, Eric Smith here, contributor on the Five Reasons Sports Network, also co host of the Scouting the Fins podcast. Today we are going to do a in-depth film review on new Dolphins offensive lineman Larry Borom. A little bit of background on him first. He is soon to be 26 years old. He was a 2021 fifth round pick of the Chicago Bears out of Missouri, and he's coming off of the fourth year of his rookie contract. He was placed on IR in both 2021 and 2024, but he did return before the end of the season both times. He's got 27 starts over those 4 years. In 2024, he started both at the left and right tackle position, but he's also got starts at guard as well throughout his career. For Miami, I view Borom as a left guard only prospect in terms of, potential future starter. Maybe he is a emergency backup. Let's say that Keon Smith is your swing tackle in 2025, and you go through a starter, you go through your swing tackle. Then Borom could kick out there in an emergency situation, but not somebody you want out there for an extended period. The Chicago film, it was tough to watch. I think it's tough to evaluate any offensive lineman in that scheme. The blocking schemes were a mess, and Caleb Williams did not do any favors for that offensive line. So we are going to take a look at the 2024 film, but we're mostly going to try to look at it from the lens of Borom playing on the inside for Miami. Let's start out with the passing game. All right, so we're going to start with the good stuff. He does okay, right? If he, quick passing game without a lot of counters, right? He can get out there and, slow down a pass rush. This rep here is going to be more of what we're going to see from the guard type position, right? You can see here that it does a solid job with that, quick inside set, which is more of a guard type set. And then from there, right, he's able to maintain his balance and mirror in a shorter space. Next play here for the good pass protection reps. Again, right, fairly quick concept there, just able to run him around the edge. And then here, right, so he does okay with stunts, right, as long as he has a good base. And that's what you can see here. Like, he is patient with his feet on this rep, right? That spin move comes early, and he's able to adjust fairly quickly and stop the pass rusher. And then going to get something similar here, right? Again, not working in a ton of space there, but he's able to get out there. Don't like the crossover there, but able to reset the feet. And, that spin move is a very tight spin move. It didn't really require him to change directions as much as it just continued him back towards the quarterback. So he was able to recover pretty well there. All right, now looking at the other side of the coin here, right? Some poor pass rush sets or pass blocking sets. You can see here that, he kind of expects that move to go back to the inside. You can see the way that his feet are setting there, right? And that never happens. And because he's got to guess, he ends up completely whiffing on the block. Other side, so we saw the spin move earlier with the good ones. Right here, you can see that he's got to cover a lot of space to get out there, and that spin move gets outside of the frame of Borom's body this time, and Borom just doesn't have the recoverability to be able to adjust to that. Again, on the right side here, right? Again, feet getting too narrow, right? His feet are together there, never able to reset and re-anchor, right? So again, right, just doesn't work well in space as a pass protector. Again, real wide alignment here, and you see, the poor results again. He's got to get out there, right? And his feet are heel clicking. Never want that. His feet never reset into any kind of anchor, and the result of that is that he has no base at all on that contact. So he's able to, the defender's able to get his hands into Borom and drive him, way back into the quarterback. Probably should have been called for a holding there. And then this one, I have no idea what's going on here. Like I said, the Bears schemes are tough to look at. I mean, you got 4 down linemen and a linebacker. Whether this is a slide left or a slide right, I don't see any way that Borom would not be responsible for this edge defender. Right? It looks like a draw play, but still, like, you got to take that guy upfield. I don't know what the heck he's doing here. And then last one for the bad reps. And again, look at the feet on contact, right? He's trying to help out to the inside, right? But never gets the feet set. So on contact, his heels are almost together, right? And he's getting driven back into the quarterback, right? So I think that we can see with these, and we could, do 3 times this amount of reps, and they're all going to look the same for Borom. He's just not good enough to pass protect in space. All right, last set of plays we're going to look at here is Borom picking up stunts. So this first one here is really more like a guard passe. You've got a tight end to the outside. So if you picture this as center, guard, tackle, right, you can see that with him being protected, Borom is, the feet are still getting too close together, but since he's not asked to work in space and have big changes of direction, he does a better job of being able to adjust to the stunt on this particular rep. Next one here, so we're going to see this a couple times in the stunt pickups, but like I said, this Bears offense was tough to watch, and here's a good example of that, where Borom clearly thinks that he has somebody helping in the B gap because he passes that off and is very confident in going to that edge rusher, right? And again, right, I have this on here just because he is going out to the edge, but he's not changing direction, so he is effective in that, but just some sort of lack of communication on what's supposed to happen for the B gap here. Next one here, now we're asking him to change directions, but I think there was also a communication breakdown on this one as well. You're going to know that you have the running back coming across to get one of the defenders, and I think that Borom here at left tackle expected him to get Collins, and that's why he turned him loose. Maybe didn't realize there was another defender coming off the edge, but you can see that he gets all the way turned inside, which is not what you want to see. And that means that by the time that he realizes what's going on and that we've got 3 guys blocking 1, you got Collins coming through the C gap here, and Borom is just way late getting back out there and end up with a free rush. Like I said, this offense is really tough to watch. Next one here, again, not working in space as much, and that's where I see Borom, doing better. This defender is not really threatening the edge, right? He is moving to the inside, and because of that, because Borom is engaged early and in a solid position, he's able to pass that off and effectively, could have picked up that edge rusher. And then last one here for the stunts. So on this one, we're going to get a full slide protection. And here, right, so we got the full slide protection here. You're going to have the running back picking up this edge defender out there. And Borom is, again, late seeing this. Shoulders are turned all the way inside. No reason for that to happen here, right? And because he is so far turned inside, right? By the time he gets back out, he's giving up a pressure, right? So this is just, not a good recipe to ask Borom to move in one direction and then reset to the other direction. We see it over and over again in this film that when that happens, right, usually going to end up giving up at least a pressure. All right, so as we get into the run game stuff, first thing we're going to start out here with is pulling. So you can see that he's a pretty good athlete getting out into space, probably better than what you would expect, but similar to pass protection, when he is asked to slow down and adjust and, find a moving target, not great at that. On this one, you can see a little bit of hesitation by Borom, and he gets his hand on the defender, right? But a good defender is going to be able to defeat that block in open field. Moving to the next one, right? Same idea there, right? He's in space. That defender has ways to avoid him, right? And Borom barely even touches him. Next one here, getting out in space again. Now he's not asked to adjust to that target on the move. He is able to continue on a straight line, right? And, maybe he should have continued further outside on that, but you can see that he does a better job of getting onto a target and, helping block and getting more movement there than he did on those previous reps we looked at. On this one, you're pulling to your left, and this is one, right? Full sprint, doesn't have to adjust, and you can see how that results in a much better outcome for Borom, that he's able to get onto that target and move him. This one here, you're going to be pulling to the right, and not a spectacular job here, not just lighting somebody up in the hole, but you can see that late adjustment is going to affect his ability to get through the hole and create movement there. Moving along. Right. Another example of not having to slow down. And once he gets his hand on a guy on the move, he's just going to be able to use that momentum to escort him out. Getting outside again, that little bit of hesitation, right? Again, gets his hands on the guy, but not really, the highlight block it could be. That little hesitation, he's in space. That defender's able to avoid it to the outside. And then last one here, right? So another example, more of a full speed type thing, and he's able to get on 91 and to help to move him out of there. So what we gather from this is that, like I said, better in a straight line, shouldn't be asked to get out in space on these crack tosses like Miami likes to run, not as a tackle, right? But maybe you could, find some positives in it if he was the backside guard on a power play or a trap where he was just pulling and kicking, or he is leading up through the hole and he's working in condensed spaces. All right, next we're going to take a look at some outside zone when he's to his side, so play side, outside zone. Left tackle here. And solid job here. Defender has outside leverage, so unlikely that he's going to be able to get there and seal him to the outside, but does a good job of, continuing to create that movement to provide the cutback lane for the runner. Next one here on the left side again. Now they brought a tackle over on this, so more of a guard type accountability. And same idea here. You can see that does a good job getting out of his stance quickly, right? Gets to that far side. This is a great fit for an outside zone run, but that defender wants to fight back over top, and that's fine, right? Just seal him to the outside. Not great on the end there, but had this been better on the inside, would have provided a good cutback lane there. Again, on the open side here, and this is more of what we see from the guards, right? This would be like a backside one technique or a front side one technique, and this would be the center, right? Guard is helping just long enough to climb to the linebacker, and the two of them do a good job on that combo block of staying on the defensive tackle, but both having eyes on this linebacker. And then late Borom stays with the tackle, guard falls off. Good rep there. Very similar rep over here with a tight end. Right? This, if Borom was the guard, this would be a three technique defensive tackle, gets around quickly, gets that little bit of help from the tight end, and then is able to get into a good seal position as the tight end climbs. This one here, back to the I have no clue what the Bears are doing, because we've got Borom going to this linebacker, we've got this guard going to the backside linebacker, and nobody at all is taking care of the four technique defensive tackle. Couple more here. So this is outside zone again to that open side with a lead, right? So unlikely that Borom is going to be able to get to the outside and really take this run to the outside, but still decent job off the ball. Tries to get there to the outside. Defender holds the outside leverage, right? Just press him out. This gets stacked up, but this is not Borom's issue. Got to get more movement on the inside there. Back probably needs to play a little tougher and stick his nose up in there. And then last one here, again, have a tight end with him. Another good job there. This defensive end plays it outside more than that one that we looked at earlier. So Borom doesn't get outside right away. Tight end has that position. Borom fits up in there, and the two of them just ride that defensive end up until that linebacker scrapes over top, where the tight end can slide onto there. Another good rep. So plenty of good reps on play side of outside zone for Borom. Right now we're going to look at the backside of outside zone. So if Borom is your guard here, obviously he's playing tackle, but this would be, more of your one technique over what would be the center if he was playing guard like I project him in this system, right? So he's looking to cut that off. Center helps just a little bit. Well, the guard, right? Guard helps just a little bit for Borom in 2024, but Borom does a good job of getting across there, right? Getting that left hand into the chest and starting to create a little bit of vertical push. Gets caught up in the traffic there and can't complete it, but I like the way that block started out, right? And if you can be a little more powerful on the vertical push, then I think we have a really good rep there. Same idea here, right? If this was a center, this would be a one technique nose, and does a really good job here of, doesn't have great initial position, right? That's not a great position, right? But he's able to, literally hold, right? But this is the kind of high level stuff that you see from really good offensive linemen. If you watch him here, right, as he gets off the ball, right, let's get to the snap of the ball, right? There is no way that he should be able to stop this defender from slanting to the inside. But if you watch his left hand here, right, he grabs those shoulder pads, yanks them around, and then quickly releases to get into a good position there. And this play is almost identical. Doesn't need quite as much of a pull from the left hand, right? But again, not in great position, but is able to continue and get the hips around. So good job on the backside here. Now, this time, right, there is no inside technique tackle here, right? So this would be more like the far side one technique, and then this is the Mike linebacker. And this is where we see Borom struggle a little bit, right? Getting him out into space, trying to cut that off. Not a strength of his, but if you're dealing with more of a inside linebacker, right? If you're dealing with it more from this position, that linebacker is not going to be quite as fast to run over the top as what we see here. So I think that this could turn into, from a near miss to a solid block with a interior alignment from Borom. And then last one here. Again, good job of winning position early, right? Head is across early, continues to work, gets caught up in the trash a little bit there, but good early position. I like what he's doing on the backside of these outside zone runs. All right, so we're gonna wrap up the film with the inside zone, the duo stuff. I kind of grouped that all together. I think that these type of runs are going to be a good indicator of what we could expect from Borom on the inside. So as we get started here, right, not starting out with a great rep here. So this is inside zone to the left. So he's backside, not able to get that early cutoff block. Defender ends up winning that leverage and beating him to the inside. Next rep here. So now he is on the left side here, and this is more of a duo look, and not a bad block, right? But not a dominating block here either. This is the type of block that if everything else is working well around you, then you can win in this world, right? And we get a solid job from the rest of them, and we get a decent gain from the running back on the play, right? But not a dominant block, but also not a horrible block either. Again, facing you here. And now we're getting back into that world where we're asking Borom to block in space. So this is going to be inside zone. He's trying to cut off on the outside, goes into space, can't cover Baker on that counter move to the inside, and ends up blocking nobody. Again, right, asking him to get out here in space and block an edge defender. He did pretty good with this on the outside zone stuff. The inside zone stuff where he's trying to seal that defender to the outside and not necessarily run through him, right? Not as good here. Trying to get into space and not able to sustain that block. On the right side now, solid job there of stepping down. This is the combo here. That defender is gone, so there's no reason to commit to that. Climbs the linebacker and gets a good fit in there. Back to going in space, right? He's trying to get outside and cut that off on a inside zone to the right and just whiffs completely, right? Not just asking him to work in too much space for what he's good at. Now he's on the left side. Right now we're getting more of that true combo double team. And you can see he does a good job playing through the hip of that defender, and they're able to pancake the defensive tackle, the three technique, up through this linebacker that would have been part of the combination block there. Left side. I don't know if you expect a little more help from the guard there. Doesn't really get much at all, but gets tossed off by the three technique tackle. A little bit better job there, right? In space, but that defender really doesn't try to avoid him at all. But you can see he does a good job holding his ground there, but not asked to move side to side on that rep. Another double team there. So they're going to be comboing through to this linebacker. And you can see they do a good job of creating movement on that defensive tackle on a inside zone to the right, where they are, they know they're leaving this defender on block. They're reading him. So they're just working up through. Good short yardage run there. Next play here. So on that, right, we're getting a basically split zone action. On the, I mean, it's a duo look, I think. No, but yeah, duo counter. I guess it's counter. Whatever. Still same idea from Borom here, right? As we go through, everybody is blocking to the right here. And we've got the tackle pulling through. Tackle is responsible for the kick out. So this is your combination block with Borom and 73 up to 13. And you see that they get a little bit early movement. Borom slides off to the linebacker, as you would expect there. Right, that linebacker is going over top. I think the guard was probably leaving a little bit earlier than what he should have. But for Borom, I thought that was a okay rep. Getting that duo look to the left. So we're going to get the double team, the combination block there. And good job by guard tackle. This is the linebacker that they're comboing to. And you can see they both get into that block. Borom is in good position. Linebacker goes to the inside. Guard doesn't get to him, but just the decision by that linebacker makes it clear where the running back needs to go. Over here on the left side, facing you again. So now he's on the back side of this. So this is going to be inside zone, right? So your combo is tackle guard up to number 48. And you can see that they do a good job there. Had the tight end done a better job here, right? As this play starts out, right? This is where that should be lining up. That front side linebacker is going over top. The cutback should be right there. You can see that the Borom and the guard combo is in good position. This should have been a nice lane for the running back, but tight end gets beat over the top, and the running back has to make it work. Solid job there. Not something that Borom does well, a change in direction. We've talked about that a lot, but decent job here on the combination block of recognizing it and getting back to the outside. I think the guard gets a little too far inside, maybe anticipating something that didn't happen there. But solid job by Borom of getting his hands on the inside guy, helping a little bit, and then still being able to adjust outside on that defender. And then last play that we're going to have here for Larry Borom. So this is just another one of those, basically a base block seal technique. This defender is not making him go side to side. Borom is able to just keep the feet wide, set an anchor, and hold his ground there. All right, so that film review ended up being way longer than I expected it to be for Larry Borom. I think there's some upside here with Borom. Like I said, I think he's a left guard only in terms of a possible future starter at left guard. I don't see him as being a great option as the starter in 2025, but he is the type of player that I feel could develop into that left guard in a year or two And in the meantime, he can be the primary backup at left guard and then be more of a secondary backup at the other positions, right? Maybe this is your eighth or ninth guy in the offensive line room, first guy off the bench at left guard, but then maybe you've got somebody like Meyer coming in first at center and right guard. Maybe Keon Smith is your guy that's going to come in as the swing tackle. And then, injuries happen, right? So if a tackle gets injured and Keon Smith has to come in, then you have somebody like Borom on the bench who may not be a top flight tackle by any means, but is still capable of coming in and finishing a game. Obviously, don't know the contract details yet. Don't expect it to be a whole lot. I don't think Borom should be viewed as a lock to make the roster, but I think that he should be viewed as a, fairly young, low risk, high potential investment that the Dolphins brought in this year. As always, appreciate you guys watching.